Hello, my Raven lovers, because obviously you have picked the Raven card. And I'm excited about that because I love ravens. I'm really thinking about getting a tattoo of a raven. Not today. So this is the Raven card y'all picked. And what does it say inside? Nothing. But it has a picture of the raven. Once again, gorgeous. And the envelope is beautiful. Also, it's got two ravens. And then here you've got a full moon. So let's get to your cards. What are they? Okay, the first card we get, which is the present, is finding. This card is saying that you're beginning to find yourself and find out what it is you want to do. You've been, okay, back up, sorry. The first 6 cards are just your general reading for this month. And this, of course, goes on with your weekly reading and your weekend readings, but it's just a general reading because of what card you were drawn to. And this card says you're finding yourself and you're finding where you need to be. You're finding your equilibrium. And that's always kind of tough to get those sea legs under us. When you start something new, it's hard to find your equilibrium, but you can get there. The next card is influences around you, and this says home. So I believe that there's someone in your family or in your friend group that is influencing you. I don't know if it's for good or not, but you need to find your own way this month. This is about you. This is a month that is about you finding your way, your path, your goals, not anyone else's. The next one is the intuition. And this is amazing. It says you need to find your passion. And with everything else that this reading has been saying, doesn't that just make the most sense ever? To find your passion. Passion is just so much fun. I'm not talking about, passion. I'm talking about knowing what you're doing. For example, I get up early and make these videos. I go to bed late and make these videos. I study to make these videos. Because, for example, I had to study up on Banban oil this week or on lotus stone. But I'm passionate about these things. And that didn't mean I didn't know kind of the basics, but I didn't know enough to do a video about it. So I put my passion to work and I'm finding things out. And it's good for me too, don't get me wrong, because I'm kind of lazy sometimes about things. I'm like, oh, I know enough, blah, blah. But I really don't. So honestly, knowing more about Banban oil was good for me. Knowing more about lotus stone was good for me. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about sigils. And I've been reading a book on sigils, but I'm going to have to learn more because I need to make a video about it. So you find your passion. What do you want to learn more about? What do you want to spend more time doing? What makes your heart sing? Please don't let me sing. You don't want me to sing. But my heart needs to sing. I like it when my heart sings. The next card is the internal conflicts. And this card says you're going through a transformation. You are turning into a gorgeous butterfly or a moth, because sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes the most beautiful ones are the moths. But you are changing and transforming. And that's a good thing. And overall, now the next card, what are the overall issues? And it says psychic abilities. You have psychic abilities. Well, we all have psychic abilities. I believe that. Some of us are more tuned into ours than others, but we all have them. And this is saying that you need to tune into yours. That your intuition can tell you what you need to do and where you need to go. One of the things that I used to do, even before I acknowledged my psychic abilities, is sometimes I would put scented oils like lavender or rose oil on my third eye to just enhance it, even when I wasn't even claiming psychic abilities. Of course, I had them, but I didn't want to acknowledge them. And finally, you get the beauty card. This is all of it. If you do those things this month that we're talking about, you're going to find beauty, even as you're transforming. You know how they say there's beauty from ashes? So as you're transforming, as you're leaving your cocoon, you're going to find beauty. Now, the next three cards are about romance. So, I mean, when I say romance, I think music in there and all that stuff. But once again, we don't want me singing because I can't. This card is Scared to Fly. So, my little ravens, I'm believing that y'all are afraid of romance. You may say you want one, but you're afraid of it. Or if you're involved with someone, you're still afraid to make that final commitment. You're just hanging back onto something. But your partner is going to know that you're hanging on to something. The next card we get on romance is Once Was Innocent. It says knowledge means change. That goes back along for that being scared to fly because you've been hurt. And as you've been hurt, you're afraid to trust in this relationship. Well, little ravens, you can't do that. Because if you hold back, this relationship's not going to be what it needs to be. And finally, the card is Acorn's Invitation. And this card says to go ahead and touch, to feel, connect, let this relationship grow. Now on to business. This says contract. This week or this month, you're going to have the opportunity to make a contract. A contract is an agreement between two parties with something in exchange. For example, I have a contract with my landlord. I get to stay in his house and he lets me stay in his house and I give him money. That's in exchange for something. Money, house. A contract requires that. You don't have one without an exchange, and you cannot rewrite it without an additional exchange. So there's going to be a contract made in your life. It can be in your business or in your job, but there's definitely a contract coming along. Sometimes there's an unwritten contract in relationships too, but that's not the kind we're talking about. The next card we get is Adjacent Possibilities. This is saying that you might be looking at something, you're looking outward, but it might be adjacent or lateral possibility. So don't be going, I want a new job. You might be saying, maybe I should be looking at changing the department I work for. Or I have been a nurse, but I would really rather be a traveling nurse. I'm just throwing out things. Because you need to be looking at something adjacent instead of just throwing out the baby with the bathwater. And finally, you've got the attachment card. And this tells me that you're holding on to something in your job way too much or in your career. That something needs to change. You need to let go of those attachments. So, y'all, that's it for this month. Now, I'll be back on Saturday to do a weekend reading, and I'll be back on Monday to do the weekly reading. So I'll be back in just a few days. I hope you have a good month. If you want to do a private reading, 405-512-9400. And if not, I'll just see you soon. Bye.